Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, this morning I'm able to talk on the subject of religion and belief because I do it hopefully every day if I can, because I think it is very important topic to think about it. When we think about it, we are thinking of our Creator, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. If you look back at any literature from the beginning to today, there is no other deity that claim that he is the creator of the heaven and the earth. Only Allah has claimed that he is the creator of the heaven and the earth. So it is up to you to believe or not. If I look at it rationally, we have no argument not to believe. Allah had revealed in the Koran that we have not existed before. Is it true or not that we have not existed before? Yes. 70 years ago, I was not around. And most of you, I think all of you, or maybe most of you, are also not around 70 years ago. I was only around 67 years ago, month and days. And that month and days over, and in the end, if I count how many days, how many months, how many hours I already live, so in the end of that, I'm sitting here talking to you on the subject of religion and belief. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing it. I feel I'm thankful to our Creator that I am thinking and doing this subject, talk on this religion and belief, and talk about our Creator. Because many people have not realized this. That he or she being created and not, or just not thinking about it and forget that we're gonna face day of judgment which is coming on the way. Don't ask when it comes. When it comes, it will come. No delay. One day, no delay, 1 hour it will come to you and me as well. The day of judgment, whereby on that day some people face are radiant with happiness. Some people face on that day a glum, dark, and feel they are under threat because on that day everybody see on his life, he see the fire, and when he see the fire he knows whether he deserve to be thrown at the fire. And on his right he see the place of happiness, and he knows he doesn't deserve that place because he realized already now that what he had done on earth had not been the right thing. And some of the people will even ask for Allah to put them back on earth with the promise that this time they will do good, but then their request of going back to earth to do good no longer be accepted. Of course, at that time when they see fire, people believe that yes, there is hell. That belief of there is hell is Iman. But at the time, Iman of believing hell is no longer of value at the time. But at this time, we believe there is hell. If we believe there is paradise, it has value, because Allah also revealed the value of believing this is only have value when you are in full. So now on earth we are in full, but at the time of seeing fire of hell, people are no longer in full. So the value of believing for Iman, it has a value when we live on earth, not at the time when we are already in the life of after death and we begin to see this thing. At that time, Iman has no longer have value. Of course, at that time, everybody have Iman to believe, yes, there is fire, seeing it in reality that there is hellfire, and then belief at that time has no value at all. So now on earth the belief has value, and with that belief it will motivate us to do the right thing out of fear of the punishment of our Creator, because Allah punish the rebellious people. Okay, brothers and sisters, that complete my preaching. I preach also to myself, and hopefully you who listen to this preaching will get the benefit from it, inshallah. So, brothers and sisters, as a routine of my talk, let us see the topic around the world and let me talk on this topic. I think yesterday we were talking about a figure in a country, a big country with very big population. His name is easy to remember. I find it easy to remember now. It wasn't easy before. Xi Jinping. Sound like Xi Jinping. It's like the common way of we talk Xi Jinping. Xi mean when we address a person, we normally add up the word Xi. So this one, Xi Jinping. Who? Xi Jinping. Who is coming? Xi Jinping. Something like that. The word Xi is commonly used in our everyday language. So this time it happened, his name starts with Xi. So easy for us to remember Xi Jinping. So I remember when I was a student, I remember this doing a literature on a book called Animal Farm. If we think it over again on the story of this book, it's about intelligent pig that control other animals. It's actually the story about the rule or the governing in communism, because the idea there is that everybody is equal, and the pig saying being intelligent, some animals are more equal than the other. So I repeat again, the pig saying some animal is more equal than the other. So everybody kind of communist idea of the people own. People have the ownership. So it's the wealth is the concept is socialist in extreme, meaning that equal distribution of wealth. Look like Xi Jinping is more communist than his predecessor. His predecessor opened China to the world, opened China to the international market, allow some Chinese entrepreneurs to get rich and to set the business. It also attract foreign investment when the policy was put forward that China allow people to get rich. So actually it happened that many Chinese entrepreneurs got rich, become millionaires. After become millionaires, become billionaires. And then at one time, there's so many billionaires in China comparable to other countries like US. So that was the policy set up by the predecessor of Xi Jinping. But now Xi Jinping is more communist than his predecessor, and the policy changed to economy in the way that communists think. And people say that Xi Jinping has no idea of running the economy because it is impossible for equal distribution of wealth. There's no such thing. The rich will become rich, and we have also the poor people who become poor. In Islam, yes, there are people who are rich, there are people who are poor. That is in Islam. So we have to accept that some people are rich, some people are poor. This mentioned in the Quran. Allah give the provision to certain people without measure and restrict the provision of some people. So the poor and rich always exist. As mentioned in the Quran. So what happened in China, because of the policy of communists getting strong in the time of Xi Jinping, foreign investors feel the pressure. Even one mentioned that the change happened when Xi Jinping took power, and they feel the pressure, these investors from other countries. So now they are leaving China. Japanese manufacturer Toshiba, Samsung, maybe Tesla, and some of the Taiwanese manufacturer also moving out. So now they go to India, Vietnam. So this I've been telling you the story yesterday of this, that the company of other countries moving out from China. So other than that, being too much communist is not tolerable to other culture. Communist is more like atheists, so they don't like religion too much. So it affects religion of Islam. It also affects other religion, but they target Islam more than other religion. So what happened in the district of Xinjiang, mosques have been demolished. It confirmed by BBC. It was also confirmed by the YouTube I saw, produced by Indonesian. So what happened of this Indonesian guy making the YouTube to confirm that the mosque had been demolished is by seeing the old map compared with the new map. In the old map, they count 2,000 mosques in Xinjiang district, and they look at the location of the mosque from the old map, and then they made a visit to the same locations which was shown mosque before, and they confirm when they make the visit to that location, some of the location had turned into some of the site which was most people turned into 5-star hotels. So that confirmed the Communist Party in China had demolished the mosque. They also good in propaganda. And I also heard that there's a lot of YouTubes of exposure of the bad doing they are doing to the Muslim. But in the end, they try to cover up, but I don't think there's a lot of evidence that they had treated the Muslim in Xinjiang badly. Now, after Xinjiang, there are also Muslim in China, the Hui, and they are already starting now to disturb the Hui people. So if you look back at what the Muslims should do, they should migrate. It happened in the time of the Prophet Muhammad time, when Muslims were asked to migrate the initial migration. The first migration was to a country in Africa when the Muslim was suppressed. So the second migration, where Prophet Muhammad also migrated, they went to Medina. So yes, the Muslim, if they are suppressed in a country by group of people who had potential to be cruel to them, they should migrate. One of the country, there are many other countries around China which are friendly to Muslims. Example, Japan. Japan is quite friendly to Muslim. So the story of Japan was that when they were at war with Russia, and they caught Russian prisoners, and they were surprised to see the prisoners. Some are Muslim, some are Christian, and they see that the Russians are not all Christian, some are Muslim as well. So the Japanese began to think that the people of different religion is there in Russia. So the Japanese began to think that it would be a good idea that Japan has also different people of different religion, and they will defend their country as different people, so they can work together actually. So the Japanese at the time began to call people of other religion. So at one time the Japanese called the Muslim to tell the Japanese about Islam. So the Muslim representative went to Japan to talk on Islam to the Japanese. So maybe they also other religion, maybe the Christian preacher also come to talk about Christian to the Japanese. But according to the story, the Japanese is more interested in hearing the Islamic talk. So the Japanese is, in other words, is friendly to the Muslims. They even invent something which surprise you, that is a truck, a mobile truck that can turn into a prayer hall. So they invent something like this. So the purpose is, if they see there's a group of Muslim in that area and there's no prayer hall, so they just bring in this truck and create a prayer hall, because the Muslim pray 5 times a day. So they know that Muslim need prayer hall to pray every day. So this kind of gesture we see the Japanese doing. Maybe they are not the Muslim themselves who created this, who invent this, but they are friendly to the Muslim. I'm heard as well that the airport in Tokyo, they build a prayer hall at the airport. They even wait the first Muslim who pray in the hall. So they were waiting who is the first Muslim to pray in the hall. And it was, I believe it was a Malaysian who first entered the prayer room, and the Muslim, the Japanese suddenly come take video of this first Muslim praying in the prayer hall at the airport. So that is interesting story to me. Okay, I think that's enough about what is my story on what is going on. Now let me read the Quran to you. So this morning we should be reading, let's see the marking. Yes, the marking. Okay, we should be reading page 112. So to get the barakah of this morning, let me read the first sentence of this page in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qalu ya Musa inna lan nadkhulaha abadan ma damu fiha fadhhab anta wa rabbuka faqatila inna hahuna qaidun. Sadaqallahul azim. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's see the meaning of this sentence in the Quran. They say, O Moses, we would not enter when they are still inside, because go you with your God and attack them, and let us just stop here. Then Moses said, O my Lord, I only have power over, have control on myself and my brother. I think his brother is Harun was with him. Then separate us from them, the people who are doing sin. So Moses' people had been disobedient, and Moses see they are doing sin, being disobedient. Allah said, this is like that, then the country is forbidden for them in the year of 40 years. Then they will go round in confusion. Oh Moses, don't you feel upset thinking of the people who are sinful? And tell Muhammad the story of two sons of Adam when both had sent their sacrifice. Then one of the sacrifice of them, named Habil, been accepted, and the sacrifice of Qabil has been rejected. Then Qabil got angry and said, I'll sure will kill you, meaning Qabil was saying to Habil, I will kill you. Then Habil saying, verily Allah accepts the sacrifice of people who have fear of Allah. Habil saying, verily if you move your hand to me to kill me, I will not move my hand to you to kill you. I am scared of fear Allah, the Lord of the world. Verily, I would like you to return with sin, your own sin. Then you will become the dweller of hell. That is the punishment of people who are cruel. Then the desire of Qabil make him killing his brother. He actually killed him. Then he became one of the loser. Then Allah sent down birds, the crow, to dig earth, to show him how he should bury the body of his brother. Then Qabil said, "Oh, curse me, why I have not been able to do what the bird is doing, so that until I bury my brother." Then Qabil had become people who regretted. Okay, that complete my reading of the Quran. Interesting story of how the first man killed another man, the first killing of man. Okay, now let me read the Gospel of Barnabas. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. When the governor had arrested a prisoner whom he examined while the notary write down the case, "Tell me, how does a man talk?" The disciple answered, "He talked with fear, to the point not as to give suspicion for himself. He is not to say anything that may displease governor, but seek to speak somewhat whereby he may be set free." Then Jesus answered, "This ought the penitent to do, then in order not to lose his soul, for that God has given two angels every man for notaries, one writing the good, the other the evil that the man does. If then a man would receive mercy, let him measure his talking more than gold, and is measured." Okay, I think I remember I heard this. It doesn't matter, we repeat that. So we mark this that has read. So tomorrow we'll be reading the next chapter. Okay, thank you very much for listening.